What is going on, everybody? I am Goat, and welcome back to the breakdown. Yeah, fucking week 2 is just as insane as week 1. Wouldn't I think we can fucking agree on that one, right? So I'm just fixing my camera angle here because I've been making some changes. Yeah. So, man, yeah, this one's been a fucking thumper. Okay, like a real what the fuck are we dealing with kind of situation. So that being said, we're just going to dive right into this shit. So Thursday Night Football, Chiefs or Chargers at Chiefs. And I'm going to be perfectly honest and put this up front. Although I am a fucking major Chiefs fan, the Chiefs should have lost this game. They didn't. They won 24-27. The highlight points to me is that Chargers had a bunch of missed opportunities with turnovers. One of them was not their fault, in my personal opinion. I do think that it was really kind of a double situation. I've seen people on Facebook and Twitter and, multiple social medias talking about the interception that was taken away from the Chargers. And honestly, it was called back on an illegal contact. And I do agree that the illegal contact was there, but I also agree that there was offensive pass interference, which would have been offsetting penalties. So one way or another, I think that interception being called back was fine in the grand scheme of things. But goddamn, man, I mean that motherfucking game was crazy. Like the Chargers defense is no fucking joke. Exactly what I thought they were going to be, especially adding Khalil Mack up front alongside of Bosa. I mean, for Christ's sake. What's killing them is their secondary. Well, not even really their secondary. Honestly, I think their linebacking core is really kind of hurting a little bit. Because their linebacking core isn't really backing up the D-line so much, and they're sure as hell not helping the secondary very much. So the mid-route, slant route, crossing route, kind of running routes that the receivers and tight ends can take are just there for the picking, man. So there was a lot of missed opportunities for the Chargers to really kind of put this fucking game away. I mean, because they had it. They had this fucking game all the way to the end, man. Up until they made a really fucking questionable call. I know that they were trying to keep pace and they were trying to keep the Chiefs defense on their heels. But when you've got a player that's obviously gassed, the guy's fucking wheezing, he's waving at the sideline, please, for the love of God, let me sub out. And I understand they didn't want the Chiefs to sub out their defensive players because if you sub out your own player, you change your formation, you change your players on field, you have to give the defense the same opportunity to reply in kind. So I understand the thinking behind it, but when you've got a player so obviously gassed and then the route that's being run is by that fucking player, that pick six should have never happened, and that is on the coaching staff. That is not on Herbert. That is not even on the fucking player. I mean, they were running that motherfucker like crazy. So when the player is basically waving at the point of near begging, please get me the fuck out of this game, yeah, that's kind of a problem. So it's definitely on the coaching staff on not switching that up, because if it wouldn't have been for the pick six, I'm positive that the Chiefs would not have won that game. Now Herbert was the O-line was actually protecting Herbert pretty well for the majority of the game until the fourth quarter, and that's really where the game-changing moments happened. Because Herbert took 3 really ugly blows, but apparently it's considered to be a fractured rib cartilage. So basically, like the cartilage that surrounds your ribs has been detached from his fucking ribs due to the impact to his body when he landed on another player's helmet. So yeah, that sounds painful as fuck. Okay. Mahomes did not look clean in this game at all until the fourth quarter. He finally fucking got under control in the fourth quarter. But by that point, the Chiefs honestly should have lost that game. So, I mean, honestly, kudos to the Chargers, minus a really, really stupid call by the coaches that really cost them the game. That defense cleans up just a little bit, and they are going to be a force to fucking be reckoned with. And honestly, I really think that some boneheaded non-catches by the defense, a really boneheaded call by not subbing out a player, which ended up turning into a 99-yard pick six by a fucking complete unknown 7th-round draft pick. And then the Chiefs just fucking basically letting loose on them in the fourth quarter. I mean, there was just a couple of questionable things that happened, and that was that. So, but yeah, Chiefs 27, Chargers 24. I mean, ugh. So, getting to the next game, Patriots at Steelers. I mean, this is boring versus boring, and I love the Steelers, I really do. But leaving Mitchell Trubisky in as the starting quarterback for that team, I don't even know what Kenny Pickett's going to look like for that team, honestly. But God, he's got to be better than Trubisky. I mean, Trubisky is just meh. I mean, is anybody else feeling that same fucking way that Trubisky is just kind of meh as their starter? They look so stagnant. Like, I don't even want to give the Patriots the credit in winning this game because, honestly, the Patriots just put up 17 over 14 points. Like, the Steelers only put up 14 points with the roster that they have. They only put up 14 fucking points because that offense is trash. And it's trash due to their quarterback. Sorry. So, Patriots win over the Steelers 17-14. Panthers at Giants. Man, look, one of the missed opportunity teams thus far early in the season. We're going to get to what I mean by the missed opportunity teams, because I think the Steelers are in that category. I think the Patriots are in that category. And there's going to be some others that we come up to. But the Panthers at the Giants, I'm considering the Panthers a massive missed opportunity team. The Panthers go down to the Giants. The fucking Giants start 2-0 since like 2016 or some shit. Panthers 16, Giants 19. All I'm gonna say is the scrappy Giants keep fighting. Man, they are just not fucking backing down. The Jets at the fucking Browns. Okay, let's cover this one. Jets 31, Browns 30. This game was well within the control of the Browns up until the last fucking, 90 seconds of the fucking game? Okay? Like the last, let's call it 2.5 minutes of the game. The Browns literally kept subtle control over the game. And you would think with the score of 31-30 that would mean that the Browns just went the fuck off on them. And to a point they kind of did, but they weren't amazing. The Browns secondary is highly suspect, okay? Highly suspect. And as much as I want to say that this is the Jets looking good, the Jets got to win because of the Browns' deficiencies in the secondary. The Browns' front is great on defense. Their linebackers are meh. Their secondary is not very good. So, yeah, I mean, the Jets, Joe Flacco of all fucking quarterbacks, stepping up when it needed to be done and getting them into the fucking, getting the job done at the end of the fucking game, literally the end of the goddamn game, getting it done and winning the game. And then they capped off the win by getting a fucking Jacoby Brissett interception, and that was that. Another missed opportunity team, though. The fucking Indianapolis Colts facing the Jaguars. And you want to talk about missed opportunity team, the fucking Colts. They dropped a fat-ass goose egg. 24 Jags, Colts 0. They literally got shut out by the Jaguars, which is considered as of right now being one of the lower tier teams because they're in a rebuild. And given what this team looked like last year and the fact that everybody was basically blaming Carson Wentz for being the problem of what the hell ended up failing on that team, the start of this season looks just like they did in the last game of last season against the Jags. So, yeah, who do you want to blame? Do I want to blame Matt Ryan? He didn't look good, but the Colts as a whole look terrible. They look solely terrible in this game. It is what it is. So, yeah, Colts 0, Jaguars 24 winners. Dolphins at Ravens. I didn't really know what to expect of this game, aside from it was probably going to be close, and goddamn was I right. The Ravens had pure control over this game up until the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter hit, and the Dolphins just unleashed on the fucking Ravens defense. And therein lies their problem, is that they've got two very good weapons. They've got Tyreek Hill and I think it's Jalen Waddle. Which they had Waddle last year on his rookie season. But having two speed receivers with pretty sure hands, coupled with the fact of you've got a pretty accurate quarterback. He didn't have a big arm, but he's pretty goddamn accurate. And now defenses are afraid of what fucking direction is he going to go. It's the Kansas City Chiefs complex 2.0. It really is. Where the fuck's he going to go? That's just where we're at, right? So, and that's what they did. Tyreek and Waddle both went the fuck off. They both had over 150 yards receiving. Fucking Tua had, I think, 6 touchdowns and like 460 yards of fucking of passing. I mean, it was just, Miami went the fuck off on the Ravens at the end, and that's where it counts. The Ravens need to finish games, and they absolutely did not finish that game. Just how it is. So, Dolphins 42, Ravens 38. It was close. I wasn't expecting that high scoring with those two defenses, but it was close. So, next game, Buccaneers at Saints. Dude, this was trash. This was hot garbage in every way. Like, the Buccaneers, since Tom Brady has joined them, have had a very, very terrible complex of losing to the Saints anyway. I mean, they were losing to the Saints prior to Tom Brady joining, but Brady hasn't been able to beat him since he joined the team. And Buccaneers 20, Saints 10. But truth be told, this was just a trash shit game. This was just a slugfest, both, literal and physical, or, both literal and, not. Evans got thrown out of the game. Lattimore got thrown out of the game because they're trash talking. Bruce Arians is on the fucking sideline, egging everything on, talking shit to the refs. Like, what the fuck? Tom Brady's throwing helmets and breaking tablets again like a fucking crybaby. I mean, like, what the fuck was this game? It was trash. Just unprofessional behavior from very high-paid fucking players. And then the Saints just end it very, very stagnant. They just did not look good at all. So yeah, that's where I'm going to leave that. I mean, like, I guess I could say this. Again, missed opportunity with the Buccaneers because the way the Saints played, and it's really kind of a missed opportunity with the Saints too. And again, I will elaborate what I'm meaning by missed opportunity, but there's a big fucking pretense that the NFL has laid upon teams that I'm going to go over when I'm done going over all these games. This was just an ugly, rusty, shitty, fucking everybody's trash talking each other kind of game, and that's just not football, man. I mean, it is to a point, but not taking it to the point of throwing motherfuckers around and coaches or assistants fucking talking shit to other players and egging shit on. Come on, man. There's professionalism, and then there's just stupid. And I know Bruce Arians has never been known for being the most professional guy out there, but come the fuck on, dude. So, Washington Commanders at the Lions. Commanders drop to the Lions 36-27. Look at the fucking Lions go, man. Finally, the fucking Lions are showing a little bit of life. I'm not saying that they're an amazing team yet. This is very early in the season. So they could fall on their fucking face and die in the middle of the season in regards to their record. But as of right now, at least they're showing that what they finished out last year, trying to be scrappy and trying to just keep fucking pushing through all the horse shit. They're working this season and they're implementing it better. So, God, as much as I feel bad for Detroit, as a whole for their their team, right now, their team is actually showing some fucking life. Finally. Oh, God. Next game. And yeah, the Commanders, like I said, were 27. Lions took the game at 36 points. The Seahawks at 49ers. Seahawks lose to the 49ers 7-27. Guess what? Trey Lance broke an ankle. Jimmy G steps up, and they looked like the 49ers of last year. Just step right the fuck up, got going. And honestly, they showed the Seahawks for exactly what the fuck they are. Deficient. Everybody was so prized on Geno Smith, and oh man, he just played so great against Russ. I've never understood the bit of quarterback pitted against quarterback because it's not the quarterbacks playing each other. It's the quarterbacks playing the other quarterback's defense. Never understood, Geno Smith going against Russell Wilson. No, Geno Smith was going against the fucking Denver Broncos defense. Just like in this game, Geno Smith went against the fucking 49ers defense, and they ain't no punks. They're not amazing, but they ain't no punks. I mean, they got a really good roster with the 49ers, okay? So yeah, 49ers win 7-27 over the Seahawks. Hey, guess what? Like I said, take Trey Lance out, Jimmy G go in, team be fine. That's what happened. Granted, it sucks that Trey Lance went down for an injury. I'd much rather him be benched than go down for a broken ankle and be done for the season. So, kind of is what it is. It sucks. It sucks for Trey Lance. Hopefully, he recovers and he comes back and learns something. So, Falcons at Rams. Dude, the Rams are frightening right now, and not in a good way. The Falcons came back and scared the bejesus out of the Rams and literally had to come down to the end of the game of the Rams keeping the game out of reach of the Falcons. I'm not saying that the Falcons are great, but they look better than last year. And the Rams win the game 31-27 over the Falcons, but just, man, Rams didn't look great. Cardinals at Raiders. So last week, the Chiefs absolutely smoked the fucking Cardinals, right? Raiders go in at halftime, 20-0 lead. They end the game losing 29-23. How the fuck? The Raiders secondary, trash. The Raiders linebackers, questionable. Raiders offensive line, questionable. Derek Carr does not look comfortable. There's so many questions. I don't know what the fuck this team's doing. But man, as much as I thought they were going to look really good, not because of the addition of Devontae Adams, but because of the addition of their coach. Thought they were going to look a lot better than they did, and they don't. They look like ass right now. Again, deficiencies. Cardinals are right in there too. Cardinals actually look really good in the second half, to where last week they looked like ass the entire game. So it is what it is. Texans at Broncos. Broncos are really showing their true colors, kind of like they thought they would. They've got a really good roster, but they have a really questionable coach, and it's showing. I mean, how fucking embarrassing is it when your time management is so bad that the crowd is literally counting down the play clock for you in the last, 1.5 quarters of the game? That's an embarrassment to the fucking team. Hackett needs to sort this shit out. Russell Wilson needs to calm the fuck down, and their defense needs to just chill. Granted, their defense did a good job. Broncos won 16-9 over the Texans, but the Broncos offense is just rough. The clock management is terrible, and the Texans just continually shot themselves in the fucking foot. Such is life. Bengals at Cowboys. This isn't saying much, but Cooper Rush after the first game looks better than Dak Prescott did. And the Bengals offensive line is absolutely atrocious. That's where this game's at. The Bengals secondary is still, okay. Not bad, but just okay. Bengals defense overall, not bad. Bengals offense has plenty of weapons. Joe Burrow is a very good quarterback. Their offensive line looks like a dumpster fire. And Burrow is paying the price. This motherfucker has been sacked 13 times in 2 games. Jesus. Cowboys beat the Bengals 20-17. So Sunday Night Football, Bears at Packers. Packers beat the shit out of the Bears. I mean, they just absolutely controlled the game. The Bears showed what they are with the rosters that they've got, and Rodgers is still looking really leery with his young guys. Story of both teams. Titans at Bills. What the fuck to say about this one? The Titans look like ass. The Bills look great. Bills beat the Titans fucking 41-7. By the way, the Packers beat the Bears 27-10. But the Bills just absolutely smoked the fucking Titans 41-7. The Bills look really good. They look really good. They look better than the Chiefs do, I'll say that. They look much more cinched in. I think if they cinch just a couple of things on defense, they have a very good chance of taking the AFC division. They really do. They look really good. Somebody's going to have to step in and fucking stop them. Is it going to be the Chiefs? Don't know. Certainly wasn't the Titans. Vikings at Eagles. The big thing to come away with this is it's entirely too early to scream at the top of your lungs and on hilltops that the Eagles are for real, but they fucking look like it so far. They absolutely bullied the shit out of the Vikings offense. Just forced Kirk Cousins into some retarded ass throws. Sorry to put it that way, but I'm brain damaged and you can call me retarded, so I have the right to say it, so fuck off. But they forced him to make some really stupid decisions. And in doing so, they just shot themselves in the foot repeatedly. They couldn't get anything done. And the Eagles just had their way with the Vikings. Unlike the Packers not being able to do that the week before. Now, what do I mean by missed opportunities? Oh, this is really simple, guys. The NFL forced a three-week preseason with some weird, strange, half-assed bye week in between now and the start of in between the end of preseason and the beginning of the regular season, and then we go to a 17/18 week game, so 17 actual games with a bye week. Nobody wanted to play their starters. Nobody wanted to have injuries. The teams are showing it. Sad truth. The teams are absolutely fucking showing it, and it's fucking painful to watch. The Chiefs are one of the few teams that actually did play their starters, and they look it. They really do. They absolutely fucking look like they played their starters during the preseason. The whole point was basically the first 2 weeks of the preseason, give your starters your minimal reps, give the, drafts and pickups and your second and third string guys time on the field to kind of get used to the speed. And then the third game would be, half of the game would be your starters, and then the second half would be more evaluation. And then the fourth game would be another half of your starters, if not more. And then your final evaluation to make your 53-man roster. And with it being cut down to 3 fucking games, everybody's trying to do their roster roster cuts, and nobody's paying attention to what the fuck they need to be doing as far as getting their normal starting players used to football speed again. I don't know why anybody agreed to a 3-game preseason, but it's showing that this is a very stupid idea. Because this is going to make some really good teams struggle at the end of the season to get their records good enough to even make the playoffs. Granted, over half the fucking NFL gets to make the playoffs, just like the NBA at this point, because, 14 teams of 32 get to go to the playoffs. So it's not going to be that much of a struggle, but at the same time, it's going to put them in weird spots. Like some of the really, really better teams look really rusty right now and may end up being, as wild card teams because they've got to get their shit together. I don't know. Week 2, absolute fucking dumpster fire overall. A lot of teams got work to do, man. I mean, they just do. So that's where we're at. Is it too early to scream that the Dolphins are for real? Yeah, I do believe so. I think they're dangerous. I think offensively they're dangerous, and defensively they're pretty solid. Is it too early to scream that the Chiefs are going to win the fucking AFC West? Yeah, I really think so, because I think once the Chargers sort their shit out, I think they're going to be fine. Justin Herbert's the only question mark because he really seems to be the driving force for the offense. And then Keenan Allen being not playing, and he's one of the primary targets, that's a bit problematic. But I think the Chargers are going to be fine. The Raiders and the Broncos look like shit right now, but give them time. We'll see where they're at in the middle of the season and see where they show, where they end up. But I mean, the whole NFL just looks fucked up because a lot of teams didn't even they just rested their starters for the preseason, which you just don't do. You have to get these guys ready for the fucking speed of the regular season. And a lot of teams didn't do this. And it shows. I don't know what to say. So that is the breakdown for week 2. So we'll catch you next week. All right, folks?